welcome back to another vlog. This is Ducktales, Season 1, Episode 23 and 24, Magica's Shadow War, or just The Shadow War. I've seen it listed as both. So of course this is the big season finale. I started to say two-part, but it was aired as an hour-long episode. I'm sure it'll be a two-parter in reruns. And it was a fun end to the season. It was good payoff for everything that's come so far. Yes, it's a little quick after Last Crash of the Sun Chaser to bring everybody back together again and have everything be okay. But honestly, what else could they do? You know? Either make Last Crash of the Sun Chaser the season finale and have this be the next season premiere, or have this be the season finale. And of the two, this makes more sense, because this is the terminus of some ongoing plot threads. That's not a bad way to go, and there's not another option. They can't not deal with what happened in the last episode. They can't even, have the family be split apart for a while, because the whole premise of the show, it's about family coming together and being stronger together and all that stuff. And so they have to all draw back together. Which sure is unrealistic, but it's a show about talking ducks. I mean, more importantly, it is what it is. It's a Disney show about family. Like, that's how it's gonna go. But really, I liked it. I feel it suffers a little bit from some things that the season as a whole has suffered from, namely trying to do too much too quickly. Too much was introduced at once all season, such that some threads feel kind of neglected in this finale, most importantly, the Gizmo Duck stuff. He's just kind of not involved. There's a couple brief appearances from Fenton. The Shadow Gizmo Duck shows up for Donald to fight, but, that fight isn't even shown. There's just not enough room for them to do everything, and that means that Duckburg's hero doesn't fight its greatest villain. Which, again, that's okay, because that's not what the finale is doing, and it's not the focus of the show. But it does lead to kind of questioning, as much as I love Gizmo Duck, should they have introduced him so early in the show? Or saved him, introduced Fenton and saved Gizmo Duck for season 2? Regardless, it was still a very strong finale, and it did pay off the most important plot lines of the season. Of course, the big one is the whole Lena, Magica, Dime thing. And it's kind of, for a Disney show, kind of a bold choice to, pretty obviously temporarily, kill off Lena. To have Magica just straight up destroy her. Yes, we get, just a couple minutes later, we see her in Webby's shadow, which is a pretty clear signpost that she's going to be coming back in some form. But it's still interesting that they chose to do it. That not only did a character sacrifice themselves, which, I mean, death of any kind is relatively rare in Disney stuff, at least like depicted on screen death. I mean, yeah, a lot of their movies have like the villain fall off a cliff or whatever at the end, but in their TV shows it's pretty rare. But on top of that, it's a kid. Like, Magica killed a kid. Yes, it's a shadow being that she created herself, but she killed a kid. Like, that's pretty hardcore villainy for Disney. Hell, most gritty live-action dramas still hold back from killing off kids. But, you know, definitely makes clear the stakes. Magica is perfectly willing to kill them all. In fact, intends to. You know, the scene where Scrooge says that Gyro's just a work acquaintance, that probably saved Gyro's life. Because Magica probably intended to kill him painfully in front of Scrooge if he was actually a friend. So, yeah. What else did I want to talk about? Well, of course, there's the whole first half, where Webby and Launchpad scheme to get them back together. It's very cute. Very kid show sitcom type thing. Though the twist where Mrs. Beakley wants in is pretty funny. Also just the fact that, you know, Launchpad, ostensibly grown adult, thinks the same way as Webby on this kind of thing. Webby, the sheltered child who really only knows adventure. I like that Dewey was the last holdout for agreeing to forgive Scrooge. And I like that because Dewey was the one who seemed to get closest to Scrooge over this season. And so he was the one who was most vulnerable to him. He was the one who felt most betrayed. So that is a little harder to get over. Again, they still forgave pretty easily, but they're kids, and it's a kids' show, and it's necessary to the show that they do so. They can't stay separated for that long. You know, some shows can do that. Some shows can successfully split the cast across multiple locations, even put them on different sides of a conflict, and still work. Even if it's, you know, one of those shows where the cast are all essentially a family, you know? Star Trek Deep Space Nine comes to mind. It did that. The main cast of that were very much, you know, the main characters were very much this close group of friends, basically a found family. And the sixth season? Yes, sixth season. Had this whole arc that ran for like a third of the season, where they were not only separated, but on, at least ostensibly, different sides of a war. And we followed both groups, and that worked, but that was a very different show. It would not really work for Ducktales because it's so very emphatically about family and being better together and such. and because it, even though it does have a couple of ongoing plot threads, it's still pretty episodic. It wraps things up neatly by the end of the episode, usually. And so there's a limit to how many episodes it can sustain a tension that strong going against the basic premise of the show. Other things I wanted to comment on, Donald is hilarious. This is possibly the most entertaining Donald's ever been. No disrespect to Tony Anselmo. He does this incredible job with Donald. And, I mean, just that line reading in the first episode, I wasn't talking to you, is some of the best acting that Donald Duck has ever had. And it's why I'm actually, although I quite like, I'm blanking on his name. He's like this huge award-winning actor, and he played Donald's normal voice in this episode. Damn it. He's War Machine in the Marvel movies. I'm completely blanking on his name. But, I mean, he's a great actor, and he did a great job, but I wish they'd given it to Tony Anselmo to just talk in his normal voice instead of his Donald voice, and just see what he can do with it. I do love the scene of Donald driving the boat, and he's like, "I am the storm," and Mrs. Beakley asks, have you been saying things like that this whole time? Because, yes, he has. After I mean, not quite to that level, but I've been watching Donald since I was a little kid. I can understand what he says. He's got some good lines in amongst the weird duck voice. Never anything quite as action hero-y as I Am the Storm, but yes. But it is the nature of his character that he never gets any kind of respect. And his voice is a part of that. His voice is, it's hard to respect something said in that voice. I now have a great desire to see Tony Anselmo do the Donald voice reading, like, famous speeches, like the Gettysburg Address or something, or Churchill's Beaches, whatever thing. That would be hilarious. What else? So I talked a little bit about Magica and Melina. There is, of course, the big reveal at the end that their mom is still alive and, in fact, crashed on the moon. It's not clear exactly how long she's been there, but she's just fixed her TV and seen the boys on it for the first time. And we get a great parallel to the first episode, which ended with Louis saying, "Mom?" And in almost the same tone, in almost the same position, we get Della saying, "Boys?" I always enjoy when, they bookend something like that. I think that's pretty much about it. This has been an excellent season. I think it's tried to do a little too much, but, better to be overambitious and fall a little short than to play it safe and not even get that far. I'm really looking forward to the second season whenever it airs, because they have clearly demonstrated they are a good team who know what they're doing, and yeah, I really can't wait to see what's next. I guess that's about it. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Patreon for early access to vlogs, essays, let's plays, and more. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye!